Hello there, and welcome to a series on Gears Tactics on Insane Difficulty. This is basically a condensed playthrough, just following, well, most parts of every mission essentially. Hopefully you can pick up a few pointers and some things I did to make the whole experience, well, doable, I guess, because it is damn difficult and very unforgiving. So hopefully you can learn something from this that you can apply to your own playthrough if you do decide to take this game on Insane Difficulty. It's going to be a 6-part series. This entire first part is all of Act 1 because it's a little bit shorter than the rest, mostly because there aren't as many side missions. And Act 2 is going to be split into 2 parts, and Act 3 split into 3 parts, again, mostly because of those damn side missions, which we all have not the highest opinions of, do we? Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So our journey begins on Chapter 2, because Chapter 1 is just the tutorial and it's not particularly interesting. You really just want to use a number of overwatches to begin with here. Now I've put Sid's one a little bit too short, alright, and you'll see why. I didn't mean to do that. Well, I did, obviously, but that was not the right thing to do, I think. Make sure you've got the wings covered there, so I put the scout on the right, just use the snub pistol there, and they will just gradually keep running into your overwatches, and you'll be able to get them that way. They love this midsection here. Couldn't get many good hits, but yeah, if we had Sid's out a bit further, we would have got an extra shot off there. And they've just gone ahead and set some overwatches in the middle. We can go ahead and use a grenade to get rid of one of them. Feel free to use all your grenades in this encounter because you can wait for them to cool down, essentially. Now this guy surprised me here by coming all the way down the side and getting a little flank on us, but to be honest, it looks like he can't really see us. Anyway, once again, they all run the Overwatch trap. We get one of them down. They select some more Overwatches. We get some nice shots off there. Shepard can't quite hit. But over here, you see normally there's a little exclamation mark that appears when they can see you, and it didn't appear there, so that kind of caught me off guard. But it doesn't matter anyway. We just went around there and chainsawed. And over here we're just once again making them run Overwatches, and that was a bad miss. They've got Sid well and truly covered. Nothing a disabling shot can't handle. Got a nice crit there as well. And at this point we're just cleaning up the first group, so go ahead, clean them up. I think we're quite cruel to this one. After we pick up this loot here, we kind of just overwatch him to death. Because it looks good. Yeah, take your time here, grab the loot, and wait for all of your cooldowns. You see there, 7 turns until disabling shot becomes available. You want to make sure you've got all your options. Once you're ready, you should have Sid up there on the top left, as you might be able to see by the icons. I've sent our scout there on the right, and now we're ready to move Tyrone and Gabe up here onto the tower because you get the aim bonus as well. And here we're going to get a number of wretches drop in. We can set up some overwatches to help out there. Sid, I wasn't really sure what to do with him there because I forgot where the wretch is going to come in. I know some come in on the right, but I forgot about the ones on the left. And I do know, most importantly, there's an emergence hole that appears. So the first group come in. I'm able to get something off. Have a fall back there. Generally speaking, not a problem. But here we go. That's interesting. I never knew that you get an interruption whenever an emergence hole appears and you're too close. But this is what you want to do. And onto it. Simply plant a grenade. Remember, this runs on a separate cooldown to your regular grenades. And then you just want to pull Sid back here. You do not want to fight anything from that emergence hole on Insane Difficulty. Trust me, you don't. Over with the scout, I decided to throw a grenade just to take out these 3. And then that leaves us with the one down here, which we're going to go ahead and overwatch. We'll have 2 shots on him. Could run up for a flank, but decided against that. And here we really just want to get some overwatches in as they come charging down. So there goes the emergence hole. Managed to get it on the second shot there. And did you see that? Look at this. Hit Gabe. Oh, he's... Yeah, wonder if he'll remember that. That was a bit weird. Now, I've put my scout here in a very odd spot. Very odd spot. So we'll see how that goes. Over here we've got 4 regular hammerburst drones and then a pack of 6 wretches on the side. What we're going to do here, I believe we don't have her grenade cooldown. As you see, it's still on a 4-turn cooldown. Swing her back. I figured I was far enough away for it not really to be a problem with those other drones. I'm going to go ahead and move Sid over here to the side because of the angle. Well, they shouldn't be able to flank him. We shouldn't let them get across. Basically where I've set that overwatch. Those sandbags up there should be as far as they are capable of going, I figured. So I go ahead and I cover the left a little bit more here in case those wretches do get round. At least Sid can then get a shot off on them. So these guys come charging in. We start getting some shots on them. Absolutely take out one of them. Maybe a little bit too much, because now there's nothing for any of the others. They set up their overwatches. And we get ours off here. It's pretty good. So nothing a nice grenade can't sort out here. Kills off one of them, just in case they do revive him. And then we're just going to make sure that once again we have an overwatch set up in case one does get round. Or through. Over here I was about to set an overwatch. No, I did actually. And we just end up finishing this guy off with the pistol. Trying to roll two 80% here. Maybe a little bit risky. But I don't think he could reach. And then this is a bit of an error. I decide to overwatch up here to get the shot off, thinking that they're too far away to hit me. But that's the thing about insane difficulty. That's never really the case. So we get a good shot on this guy. And this fella here, all the way over there, just decimates our scout. Meat. Yes, well, gotta beat the rest of us first for that meat. Alright, and as you can see here, they're trying to make their advances. But because we've got the high ground, we get some really, really high accurate shots here. High accuracy shots, I should say. So we're just going to set up our overwatches. Just about finish this guy off, and over here, in the nick of time. And there you go, so we had one fatality, which is unfortunate, but we did manage to do it all first time. So that is a plus, I suppose. And over here on the skill tree, we're going to make sure that we give Sid the bayonet abilities here. Not this one, this one's not really a big deal, but it's the free bayonets. That is massive, and you're going to need that for this next mission, as you'll see. So, it's only 2 of you on Chapter 3 here. It's your first rescue mission. A lot of people take the right-hand side, I've noticed, but I've decided to opt for the left on this occasion. So we are introduced to our Grenadier for the first time. Becomes more difficult when injured and immediately attacks if you get too close, but you can easily get rid of that. And in fact, you kind of count on it. So I set a close range overwatch here, quite deliberately. You'll see why. So he comes running in, we get lots of shots on him, keeps him far enough away so that he doesn't want to use his shotgun. And all we gotta do is come in with a simple bayonet charge. It's essentially a free action. So Sid's still going to have 3 actions there, as you'll see. And there you go. That's how you deal with it. We simply chainsaw the other guy, and we can get to work rescuing our first gear. Here we're going to set up a couple of overwatches. Well, just the one overwatch. We've got 2 actions there left with him. Sid takes a partial hit, but it's alright. This guy around here, though, he makes things a bit difficult for me, and it's a nice flank on us. Not so cool. I've also swapped out Gabe's stim grenade for a frag grenade, because you do not want to use the stim grenades. In fact, you might not be able to complete it if you use the stim grenades. You really need those frags. Just about managed to down that guy. And this guy comes charging in and kind of hits us, and that puts Sid in a bit of an awkward spot. But we can deal with this, because of good old Intimidate. Very valuable ability. Over here, Obviously we're going to come over and execute this guy. Unfortunately it's going to cost us 2 actions. But we can at least get him into cover, I suppose. Not that that really matters. So I decided to play a very close range Overwatch game here, which was an interesting strategy. I was just a little bit unsure as to how to play this one. But of course we're going to be met with a number of Overwatches, aren't we? Which is very annoying. Now, once again, you'll see there's no exclamation mark. So I think it's okay to throw that, and clearly it's not. So it becomes little pieces. Anyway, we deal with the Grenadier again. And the other guy. Sid's almost dead here, though. Took a pretty nasty flanking shot, but it doesn't really matter because he heals himself up. And I decide, alright, well, you know what? Let's go on the guys on the right. We're already here. See if we can handle them. But that seems to be kind of short-lived. Get a couple of shots off here. This guy comes around, and we get one hell of a shot on Gabe. And that's the thing with half cover, you want to avoid it, you really do. On insane difficulty, definitely play it a little bit more like XCOM, I'd say. So look at the range of the bayonet charge as well, this is such a useful ability. So, deal with those 2 guys again.
On the lookout. Everyone, look sharp.
Get these guys running their Overwatches. This guy, he just wants to make things awkward for me. Alright, well over here at least, because we managed to hit them with those Overwatches, the grenade's going to do enough damage, except we step into the exclamation mark. I know, I'm playing like an absolute scrub, but it just goes to show how possible this is, even if you're not particularly good at it like myself. Now, it's tempting to come in here with a chainsaw, but we both know that's just not going to work, do we? Leaving Gabe out in the open. But we do deal with the guy flanking at the side, after we got rid of his Overwatch with the Intimidate. And over here, I'm considering just taking a shot, setting up an Overwatch, falling back. Because I'm thinking, well, we can chainsaw you, but we can't bayonet the other one. We'd be relying on just a regular shot, and given the fact that Gabe's on low health, probably not the best idea. So instead of setting an Overwatch, I opt to use a grenade. It's just easier. So, we get our first gear, and it's a support, who immediately decides to, well, be useful. She's actually really good, as you'll see here momentarily. So I get Gabe on the drop here, as they will be, yeah, that's it. That was a good Overwatch. I don't often do that. That said, he just about grazes one of them, which, to be honest, on wretches, it's not the most useful thing. Now, the problem is, we don't have any grenades. I've used them. But luckily, our new soldier gets a lovely crit there. That really helps us out. Now, I'm thinking of taking some Overwatches here, but I'd rather just lower the numbers, so do some damage here. Really, you should Overwatch them, I would say. But take a look at this, 35% chance for a crit, and Sid nails it. It's just, if you can get those crits, it's so good, so good. So over here I decide to prepare for the Grenadier. We set up an Overwatch for him. Just want to try and stop him. And you appear to be out of cover, but she appears to be out of cover, but she is actually in cover, so we're going to get these two, hopefully. They'll be able to stop the Grenadier in his tracks. Fortunately, it ends up using up our Overwatches. The wretch kind of went the other way. But luckily, Gabe is able to take cover here, and he's not quite close enough, which means chainsaw time.
Just a little trim. Exterminated.
Alright, we grab that loot, and we make our way towards the other torture pod. And we're taking our time here, waiting for those cooldowns. We've still got 7 turns, as you can see there, top left. You only really need 3 or 4, I guess 4 turns, let's say, just in case the encounter does go a little bit pear-shaped. So, we've now activated this pod, set up some Overwatches for them. We are just dealing with regular grubs here, so... And we've got the extra gear this time, so having the extra weapon really does help. generally speaking, they don't get too much further than this. That is the furthest they'll get.
Roger that.
What we do here is we send our scout around, no, we send our support, sorry, round to the side. And once again, we use that awesome disabling shot. It's only reliable though if you can get the flank on it. That's the thing, that's really important. I know it's tempting to take those 40% disabling shots, and sometimes you have to. You just have to take them. But try and avoid that if you can. If you can get the flank, use the extra action.
Fire in the hole.
Anyway, we use a grenade there, get rid of that one. Disable the other one, or injure the other one rather. And this is another opportunity for a bayonet charge.
Let's dance.
So if we hadn't picked up that ability, the free bayonet,
Right up the gut.
look at that, that's come in useful twice this mission already. A very good ability, very good ability. Can't quite reach with a chainsaw, unfortunately. And my options are kind of limited, so we just opt for another Overwatch. We pull Sid back. Doing quite a bit of damage to this guy. Yeah, nice.
Thinning 'em out.
So we now welcome a heavy to the squad.
Support ready.
Objective ahead. Got locusts jamming our exit path. Clear 'em out.
We're in decent positions here just to deal with all these wretches. That's all we're going to really be coming across here, so not a whole lot to see. It's just the usual barrage of, yeah, wretches. But this is pretty cool. We get to use explosive shot here. Take a look at this. It's always satisfying to see, right? It's just always such a pleasing sight. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. We head to the exit until we are then met by two more Grenadiers, who we don't actually need to acknowledge. But for the sake of getting a bit more XP, I decide, you know what, we're going to have some fun here. So we lob a grenade on them,
Outgoing first.
and then that gives Gabe and Sid an opportunity to, well, chainsaw and bayonet them essentially, and still get out as well. So that's an extra kill each for them. Nice. And there you go.
Good news is you're
That is chapter 3.
the bad news.
So we had a couple of reloads this time. Still only on the one fatality. Then again, no one's allowed to die on that one. And we got some loot as well, which is always useful. Moving on now to chapter 4. I remember this one when I first played the game, and I remember struggling with it quite greatly because you don't have a lot of abilities, you're dealing with a lot of enemies, and you're still working out the mechanics of the game. But going with the Overwatch approach here, I figured this should be playing it fairly safe. So don't worry about this guy, he's going to stay there the entire time. So forget about him. The rest of them, however, they're just going to charge through, and a couple of them are going to attempt to flank as well. And you'll see them getting downed like that. There's not really much you can do about it because you can't really run over there and get yourself back, all for that one extra action. And as you see here, I opted for half cover, which was a poor choice. Very poor choice. So, giving that another go, I've gone ahead and moved Tyrone a little bit further back. We've put Sid in half cover, but he can handle a little bit more damage. He's got a tiny bit more health. Cole's in a bit of an odd position there because he is, he's flankable. Sort of. But it still counts as being in full cover, I think. Yeah, minus 40% damage, so remember that. Full cover is the only way to really play it on this difficulty. Of course, we're going to bring out good old grenades. That's why. And just set up some more Overwatches.
Buckle up, people.
So missions like this where you have no timer, there's no rush, you don't need to move forward, you just stand there, let them come to you. That's the best way to do it, really. Over here, Cole's going to take another shot, that time. Direct hit, but because of the full cover, he could take the damage. On top of that, he's also a Vanguard, so he heals himself up. So, we're going to get rid of the Overwatch here.
I'm in a bad mood here.
We also move that guy out into the open. And actually, in a moment, you're going to witness something kind of spectacular. I mean, well, executions aside, because these are always spectacular. Oh yes. But to see this guy here, take a shot here, get rid of his cover. Well, I just made your shot worse. The cover basically made his shot worse, that is, so now it's 83%. Even though he wasn't in cover, it was still on obstruction. We just need to finish him off. But I decide instead to use Gabe for this. Now, get a load of this. He's got 4 actions. And I'll put up the chances of hitting, alright? This is spectacular, mathematically speaking. 86% chance, so 14% chance to miss. This is once. Well, gonna hit this time, right? It's a 2% chance that he would miss twice. What are the chances he misses 3 times with the same percentage? In fact, this one's a 90%. 0.2%. And he still whiffs it. That's just incredible. Just incredible. So, the scrub shows him how it's done. We come in here, get a lovely execution, and the reason I use Sid for this, even though he only has 1 action left after this, is we can use the bayonet charge on the other one by the car. There you go. And because we went down the bayonet tree early for the extra action, we have a little bit of flexibility to move Sid back if we want. And I'm debating getting that container, but I figured probably best to just stay in cover is the smart thing to do. So I'm going to go ahead and move Cole over here. I don't know why I was thinking maybe use Intimidate, and then I sort of thought, you know what, I could probably get rid of one of these dudes. So let's do it.
Keep pushing.
We can reduce the numbers, it's usually a good thing to do. But yeah, let me use that free bayonet man, it's so good. Because of that we can get an extra Overwatch in. So we deal with those guys and we move up. And again, there's no need to kill this guy too soon. The best thing to do is to move your units around, because where Sid is at the moment, there's going to be 2 E-holes there. So you need to make sure you're in a position where you can plant grenades on them to avoid any enemies coming up. Trust me, it's not worth trying to get the XP gains. They've upped the amount of experience that you get for kills. You don't need to E-hole farm at all whatsoever. And on Insane, that is, well, an insane thing to do. So we're just going to soften this guy up as we go. Like that. And eventually we'll take him out.
You or me, asshole.
So yeah, now we are basically just going to be setting a number of Overwatches, because they're going to be coming from the other way. Couldn't remember exactly where. We've got Gabe and Sid around here to deal with the emergence holes. And the rest of them... Oh, we need somebody to actually activate the rest of the enemies.
Feel that rumble? Grubs are tunneling in.
Okay, unfortunately, that happens. Interrupts them. Always frustrating. I need to make sure I keep some distance from them. But at least we can put this down, which is actually much more important than any Overwatch, because they immediately take an action. Gabe is very close there.
Keep him off the truck.
Yeah. Again, another mistake. Okay, but luckily we just have some wretches. We can deal with those with a grenade. 2 grenades, I suppose. And then here comes the second one. No, we've already got rid of the second one. I guess there was no need to show that. These guys come charging forward. I think we threw a grenade that side and we pretty much just overwatch these guys on the right. They're fairly straightforward to deal with. That said, letting one of them get through like that, that's the amount of damage they do, 450, so you can take 1 hit. And this one was getting very close, very, very close. Luckily he seemed more interested in Gabe. So, yeah, anyway, I'm going to set some more Overwatches up. We don't need to worry about the emergence holes, and I couldn't remember for the life of me where the last group were coming from. Turns out they're coming from, well, you've got it the closest. Actually, none of you've got it close at all, really. Up there. So 2 grenadiers, 3 hammerburst drones, and a whole lot of fun. So we need to send them into Berserk, just like we did in the previous mission. And then we can come in here, get the easy finish. So, makes sense to go for the one with the most health. Did I do that? Did I decide to do that? I was probably thinking about where to put Sid. Because we have to make sure we can get Sid in there as well. So, yes, you can get that one there. Busy planning it out. And then what are we going to do for the rest? We can probably throw grenades to damage them. Going to have a go at killing them all in this turn. Or at least pretty close. As long as we can get rid of the grenadiers. Which we certainly can. Cole still has 4 actions. In fact, comes in here, gets a beautiful shot on that one. And he can come in here and get a nice execution as well. But for now, let's bring Sid in. Finish this guy off.
Taking track. On a skewer. Out of commission.
Alright, so it's time to stack up some actions. Finish off these guys. Gotta bring the other 2 into play. We've only used 2 soldiers so far, that is it. So, we do some damage to them and then finally throw a grenade. And that's it. That is Chapter 4.
Solid work.
Done flawlessly. No, not flawlessly. We had 1 reload, didn't we? Other than that though, it went okay. I always like the Ranger treads. The movement range can be very nice, occasionally anyway. The problem is it's only common gear and we're quickly going to grow out of that. It really doesn't take long to grow out of it, actually. So there you have it. That is Chapter 4 for you. Little promotion with Sid there is really good, actually, since he is one of our main characters. So, moving on to our first side mission of the game, right before Chapter 5. It's our first control mission. As Gabe, Sid, Michaela, alongside poor old Tyrone.
Let's do this shit.
AKA the expendable one. Anyway, hopefully it won't come to that, right? So we get our first drop. These guys are just super annoying. To be honest, you might never actually deal with them. I realised I wish I didn't acknowledge them as much as I did. And you'll see kind of why. So I've sent Gabe and Michaela down the middle. I've sent Tyrone down the right and Sid down the left. We get more action on the right hand side, so I think I probably should have put Sid down the right. Tyrone down the left would have been the smarter option. But yeah, pretty much with Sid, we're just going to place him here. He's going to pick up supplies, and we'll just overwatch him around there. Michaela, well, could take shots, but they're a little bit crap. We'll just make sure they have a little bit of difficulty running down there. Like so. That was a total miss. And over here we get our Grenadier, as well as 2 regular drones. This side a few wretches come down, pack of 5 of them. So we've got them coming in from all angles. It's a little bit of a tricky control mission because there's no quick way to get from one side to the other. So we start dealing with them over here, to some extent. And then here we have classic early game Michaela. Classic early game Michaela, that is a thing. Act 1, she does struggle, and you will see plenty of that, I assure you. Until she has a coming of age towards the end of the act. Over here we're going to move Tyrone background here. That would be the smart thing to do. Into full cover, and we'll just set up a nice little overwatch here. Which, yeah, let's see how it goes. So we're keeping those guys away and downed, which is good. These guys are, they seem to decide, well, he decides he wants to go for Sid by the looks of it. He's miles away though. This guy over here, get the shot on, he's gone berserk. And yeah, they kind of just mill about the middle, really. Really, you only need 1 unit on them, I guess, kind of interrupting them. Over here, Sid's got his work cut out. He's got a few wretches over there. So back here, classic early game Michaela. She gets the hit the second time. Better than what Gabe was doing in that previous mission. And over here, I do something maybe wasn't the best idea. I overwatch the Berserker. And over here, we're just going to overwatch back there. Those guys keep them busy. We can pop a little grenade over here on these wretches, and then I have no idea what to do with him, so I kind of overwatch the wall, hoping that in case those wretches come running down. We can deal with it. But over here we get lots of shots on this Berserker. Partial hit, but he's just going to basically make a big smeat of poor old Tyrone. And his gun's going to disappear into the ground. So, goodbye Tyrone. But that does cause me a little bit of a problem because we need to continue to get supplies.
One shot left.
That is an issue. The wretches are a little bit confused. He decided to replace his fallen brethren. Now we need to deal with this situation.
Should be about halfway done.
So, Gabe,
Let's do this.
Kayla, what are we going to do here? Going to take shots on him? No, just throw a grenade. Easy way to do it.
Frag going out.
Well, now there's going to be nothing left of Tyrone. I'm sure Gabe wishes he had the honour of doing that. So the reason I decided to use Michaela was because Gabe was a little bit closer at getting round to the supplies, so we can dash him round. We're just going to have to ignore the 2 drones up there. So we're going to Overwatch there with Sid. Overwatch with Michaela in case, I guess, one of them does come back, but they're both going to go down this way. We do have some crates there that we could get. Maybe we should get. This cheeky git here gets a shot in on Gabe, but luckily it's just a graze. That wretch is an absolute pain. Look at them. What are they doing? They can't make up their mind. They can't make up their mind what they're doing. And then we get our second drop. We get a Grenadier over this side, which is very alarming. But we do have a turn in hand, so... That said, we did lose a supply here. Well, we didn't lose it, just... It's destroyed, but it doesn't come off our number at the top there. As you see, they've got 2. How does that work? Anyway, best thing to do here is to come in with a little chainsaw, which does put Gabe in a bit of a tricky situation. But is there any way to get those supplies back? So over here, we really need Michaela to hit some shots. We get Sid to just Overwatch back here. And I don't know, why did I put a cut in there? What did I decide to do? This Sid was able to get that guy downed. That's not an issue. Ah, we just set an Overwatch up. That keeps him away. Nice. Nice interruptions there. That red's going to go down and join them. So yeah, the Overwatch was the smart thing to do there. That's a partial hit. Luckily it was far enough away so that its accuracy was quite poor. Plus, there was that little flower pot, or whatever it is, in the way. So that was enough to just make it a partial hit, because that easily could have been a kill. Very easily. Anyway, get a nice kill here with Sid. Gotta love those executions. And then I just bring him back because we still need to get 2 supplies to win it. You need to actually get it on the flag at the little top icon there. Not before it. Yeah, we pick up the loot before we go, because that's the easiest loot to grab. Be a fool not to grab that. And then I guess we just Overwatch over here in case that Grenadier comes about. We gather the supplies, and we are done. Out of here. Unfortunately, we lose Tyrone Wolf Shepherd. Gabe doesn't seem to mind though. So that takes us to 2 deaths on the campaign so far. Anyway, moving on to Chapter 5. Gonna start off with a bunch of wretches here. They're pretty easy to deal with. And we've got this building on the right. We've got 2 ways we can go here. We can come around the building where those wretches are, or we can go through the building. There, you see it's like a sort of mechanics. And we're going to do a little bit of both. Split the team up. So this way I'm going to send Sid and Michaela, and through the building itself is going to be Coltrane and Diaz. As they're going to be a little bit closer to the action. And they can handle that. They can handle that. Really, we're just going to Overwatch these guys, because that's the easiest thing to do. At least I think it's the most sensible thing to do anyway. But others might differ. We can't actually Overwatch where Cole is because he's in the way, or through him, can we? We'll just shoot him in the back. I'll go on to make that mistake some point in Act 2, I think. But yeah, these guys are pretty straightforward. It's just another group of wretches. We haven't activated the Hammerburst drones yet, so it's good to just pace yourself. So
Got him.
continue taking those guys out. They run into our overwatches, get some nice reloads, and then we activate the group up here, which is just, I think it's 3? There's only 3 of them. We send Cole on cargo duty. Pick up the delicious loot. Gotta get that precious loot. And we are really, once again, just going to overwatch them. So with the guys down here, while we gradually work on a flank for Michaela on the left-hand side. So that was good. That was a nice shot. You could see that there. Stop that guy from doing anything. So, yeah, there you go. You can see her there. We can take one action, move her over here, and we've got some nice clean shots. That said, 77%. Not amazing. She managed to hit that. Pretty good for her. But classic early game Michaela. She does get a miss at some point. She'll get quite a lot of those. Anyway, that guy's downed. And really, they're all just going to be running overwatches, and yeah, they are not going to last long. They are not going to last long. But this guy, I mean, they've left themselves kind of in the open here, which is a very questionable decision. Oh, there we go. Gabe getting a, well, it was much better than Chapter 4. Much better. But that's okay. I'm sure Michaela can finish him off. Right? Right?
Reloading here.
We believe in you, Michaela. Even if it is still the early game. Okay, no. Wrong thing to do. Yes, oh please. That's how I feel so many times. These guys seal their fate, although this guy, feeling very brave, he thinks, I've got a perfect plan. I'll overwatch this one guy. They won't have a clue what to do. What on earth will we do, guys? Well, that was it.
Let's do it.
So, moving on to the dramatic scene of the van push. Yeah, you can tell, oh, there we go. Sniper time, of course.
Got a sniper in play.
So snipers are a real pain because they are a one-shot kill. Essentially, on insane difficulty, they are a one-shot kill. But they're far enough away and there's too many obstructions that they can't really do much. As long as you avoid that alleyway down the right-hand side. So you just want to set a bunch of overwatches here. Deal with the 2 grenadiers first. That's right, Coltrane knows. So get out your snub pistols, set them off into Berserk. Wait till they get a bit closer as well. Don't set the overwatches too far back. You want them close enough so that you can comfortably go in for the finish. Keep everyone safe. This guy though, he comes all the way around, which is it's a good maneuver actually on their part. Anyway, they are now both Berserk. This guy's going to slowly make his way down the alleyway as well. The snipers, yeah, they kind of spread themselves out back there. They're slow moving. They're slow moving. That guy's a pain. I'm in a real pain. Problem is Michaela's face is in the way. We can't even move her out of the way. So this was a really good move on their part actually.
Go ahead.
Very good. But anyway, in the meantime, let's go ahead and bayonet charge these 2.
But I do see as a multi-stockpile.
Lovely.
Can't kill him. Might as well annoy him. Plan a charge on those fuel tanks.
So what we can do over here, we could always throw a grenade. And we can actually get a kill on one of those snipers, which is absolutely worth doing, because that basically cost us nothing, that bayonet charge. That's kind of the way I look at it. It's basically a free move, which if you can make a kill a free move, how is that skill not worth taking, right? How is it? Turn-based games are all about action efficiency, you see. So, right, over here, we are going to move Man Gabe, I mean a Man Cole, using power. So he's got 2 actions again, because I used 2 actions there. We're going to free up Michaela by going woo, because of course he'd be terrified of that. If you hear the Coltrane and he's your enemy, you're in trouble. Get rid of this Berserker. The advantage of 2 Vanguards. That said, we could have come in with the chainsaw with Gabe there. But we can't get the chainsaw here, unfortunately, so it looks like we are going to have to do something a bit cheeky. And that's not throw a grenade. We're actually going to plant a grenade. Something I've been experimenting with, or at least been thinking about experimenting with a little bit more. So I figured it's not enough to maybe put it at the entrance here, because he might just come around the outside and get a flank on us, or who knows what. So we're actually going to put it right here, right next to him. So as soon as he steps around the corner, he's done for. We'll send Michaela back round here. Over here we're going to set up a nice little overwatch. We still have that one sniper to deal with, and really over here we're just going to move Gabe in a bit closer. He's also going to overwatch. And Sid, not masses you can do. We have to be careful of the windows on the right there. I almost put him there, but realised that there are windows. So instead we're going to opt for full cover on the right hand side here. And probably set a little overwatch. No, we're going to go on the left. Have cover on the left. Interesting. In hindsight, that's not what I would have done. I probably would have put it on the right and gone for the window. Because that guy on the right, but hopefully that doesn't become an issue. This guy is clinging on to dear life of 25 health. Got a couple of shots on that guy. Runs all the way around. Doesn't appear to be overwatching yet. Oh no, there we go. There's okay, his buddy's got him covered. And here we've got our first pin. Now he could have taken a shot. But he's decided to pin Sid.
Sniper will pop me if I move.
But it's not really an issue. Anyway, Gabe's going to down this guy. We're going to come in here, probably execute him. I'm a bit cautious about whether or not we're going to be able to finish off that sniper, but I realise we're going to be able to because grenades. Especially if we give ourselves a few extra actions. Also, that guy is out in the open if we move Michaela around. There is that as well. Over here, though, we're going to throw a grenade to free up. Who do we decide to free up? Oh, we can kill both of them with this. Luckily, it's just out of range of the Overwatch. Basically, that frees up Coltrane. And he can come round and throw a grenade on that guy. So he can get in over here. Behind the old Grundon. And, well, he could take a couple of shots. I decided to try it, and he misses the first one. No, it's not good. So I just play it safe and go for the grenade. There we go. Set Sid in, destroy the old emotion tanks. That said, I think I wait a turn or two because of those sweet, sweet cooldowns. So after waiting a little while, we've placed the... Oh wow. We've placed the charges, we've sabotaged the emulsion tanks. We now have, I guess, a little bit of a wave mode situation here. We've got a lot of them. In fact, I don't think I did wait very long. Now that I think about it. We do have one grenade there.
That was pure refined emulsion.
Ooh, this is beautiful, isn't it?
You could send a rocket into space with those tanks.
I realise there's a way you can get everyone there. There it is. I got 6 of them.
Leave me.
Lovely. That really does make things a little bit easier, given the circumstances. But we really need to move everybody up to lend a hand. As long as everyone get an action or 2 off, we should be fine. But no, as you see, I've not waited to place the charges on the tank.
Let's do it.
So we've actually got... Yeah. Just our weapons. Regular old firepower. Anyway, enjoy the show. That's the double play. That's right, Coltrane. Cole's just going to finish that one. Almost. This guy's coming around. So we got one of them got through. So we're going to slap on Gabe's face. They do a lot of damage. So he's going to have to... He's going to have to care for himself. Anyway, he was able to kill off that wretch. And yeah, obviously wasn't really worth watching because it's just 2 little wretches and we're done. We're out of here. That is chapter 5 finished. And that was flawless that time. That was a good one. That was a good one. So there you go.
Felt good to mess with that asshole instead of running. Now, I got one more place where we might...
So we are now on the final chapter. However, the game's going to throw another side mission at us. Of course, why not? But we are certainly not going to do that top mission there, the rescue mission, because that's a 1-soldier mission and on insane. You can't do that, really. 1-soldier missions are so ridiculous. So we're going to do this mission here, which I am completely unfamiliar with. And it's an incursion mission, which is nice and easy, other than the fact that wretches get plus 100% damage, basically meaning they are an instant kill. So if they do 450 damage regularly, Yeah, that's a whopping 900, and no one can survive that. So it's basically a lot of Overwatch traps is the way we're going to deal with it. We are immediately greeted with wretches, which is the least surprising thing ever. So let's see how many we're dealing with, because it looks like it's just 2 there, and then suddenly there's a lot more. A lot more. But this is why we take grenades. We don't take stim grenades out, we make sure we have plenty of regular old explosive grenades. Anti-stim grenades, if you will. So we're going to go ahead and I'll throw that. And to be honest, another one. Yeah, absolutely. These guys here we can just overwatch. So yeah, that's quite a lot of enemies that we've dealt with there. Quite nicely. And we've got some nice loot over here. I figured, or maybe that was it, but I was wrong. There's a couple of guys down here who are suddenly making things a little bit awkward because they could easily flank Gabe there, and I'm suddenly kind of panicking a little bit. Not too sure what to do. Don't even think that was the right thing to do. I should have really just repositioned. Go for a wild long-range Overwatch there with Michaela.
Got it covered.
And as for... Ah, yes, I decided to hunker down here because I really was worried about Gabe's survivability there in half cover. And we give a nice Overwatch. So that does take away Gabe's Overwatch, but you'll see here it does make a difference. Makes him harder to hit, so he's got a good shot there. Okay, maybe that didn't make a difference. The cover made a difference, but that's about it. So we're going to take a shot over here with Michaela, who decides, you know what, I'm going to hit these. Apart from that one. Classic early game Michaela.
Reloading here.
And we've got one action left, so give her a second chance.
I'm listening.
As long as you give her a second chance, maybe a third chance in the early game, you'll be alright. But this is a pretty easy finish here. Good old bayonet charge to the rescue. That's the thing about those Overwatch cones, there's a nice gap.
Right up the gut.
Very nice gap where you can just sort of get nice and close to them. Anyway, we wait for a few cooldowns, and once again we make Coltrane do all the heavy lifting. And we take a look at what we are facing, so we can see a few regular old grubs there. But there is, I believe there was a, yeah, there is a shotgun, what do you call them again? Now I've forgotten everything's name. Not Berserker, I want to call them Berserker because they go Berserk. Grenadiers. They don't even throw grenades, that's the thing I have a problem with. I never see them throw a grenade, which is, thank God for that, because it would be impossible this game if that happened. Anyway, we make Cole grab this, and they're basically going to split up their attack, so half of them are going to come this way, and half are going to come from the left-hand side. So we're going to get about 4 wretches on each side, 1 grenadier, and a drone or 2 as well. Actually, the drones kind of just linger in the middle, inside the building itself. So, here we go. Let's see them try and run these Overwatches. 2 on each side. They're not having a lot of luck. I mean, one of them got through, but he's still got a long way to go. Yeah, those guys sort of linger there. You see a nice little gap here where we can shoot at them. The Grenadiers are quite slow when they're not in Berserk mode. And that's the important thing. You only let a Grenadier go Berserk if you plan on killing it that turn. That is so important because basically their mobility is doubled. And that could be a real game over. So here he is. We have to kill him this turn basically. But that's easy enough. We've got some extra actions here. Because I don't think, yeah, Coltrane didn't actually take a shot there. Blitz only pops if you don't take a shot the previous turn. So he was able to get the kill on this Berserker, so this side is now clear. Then we have to deal with this side over here, and we can see them all sort of making their way around. So we're just going to do the same again. We've still got 3 shots in the barrel there. And up here, I'm considering doing something a bit cheeky.
Will do.
That's what I do. Move Coltrane up here. We're just going to pop a grenade on, well, I was hoping to pop a grenade on one of these guys. So I start looking for a friendly bounce, which apparently I found one there. There you go.
Go ahead.
And then we can actually just move him back down. Get him back out of there. Little run and gun for you. So, and over here we're going to have Gabe lend a hand just to make sure there's no problems. We'll get that reload first, just so we're ready for action. You know, these guys start making their way up the stairs, they know something's up. And here we have now sent this guy into Berserk. But he's a nice easy finish as well, so we could come in here and, well, we can't go in there and chainsaw. Apparently we never can. But one thing we can do is one hell of a bayonet charge. Look at this. That's some range. That's insane. An insane move for insane difficulty settings. Coltrane loves it. So we move it up there, pop a grenade on this guy's face. It inconveniences his buddy. And then we can just come in here. 65% chance to crit. We don't get the crit there. Can we get it here? Yes! And there you go, the battlefield is now clear. That's it. We can now go and open the crate and take out whatever the hell is in it. Oh. Looks heavy. He's gone ahead and got his invisible papers. Welcome to Chapter 6, the finale, and boy is it a big one, and this took a very long time to get right. So here we have our 4 grubs, and we are taking out, Coltrane again. So we can do stuff like this, only with him. So we can get one of these with Sid, and then we move over to Gabe, we can chainsaw this one over here. So 3 instant kills right at the start is definitely the way to go. 1 action to move Cole there. Bayonet charge this one here. And everyone still has a few actions each as well, so they can all contribute to this final one here. Michaela's just going to get a shot here, and then... Do I take another shot? Oh, then I realise, oops, what am I doing with myself? So I opt to throw a grenade instead. Definitely the smarter thing to do. And yeah, that's how you deal with that first group, basically. Obviously, if you don't have Coltrane, I do recommend training up a Vanguard to level 3, I think it is? Actually, I think it's level... yeah, it is level 3. So do make sure you come into this with another Vanguard, just for those bayonet charges. It's absolutely worth it. Plus for the, I guess, self-sufficient nature of a Vanguard too. It's particularly good. But yeah. We're basically just going to make our way over here. So we get a few drops of wretches and hammer burst drones rather. But up there we're going to get a few snipers. These guys are going to cause me some difficulty. The ones here, not so bad. They are going to pin us down here and there. Got a few grazers there. But they're going to come around here and probably start pinning. Or... attempt a shot, but here he's going to pin. It did look like he was going to shoot. Thankfully, he didn't. Yeah, and of course we're going to use good old Coltrane. Shout, move, stab. That's how you do it with him. And these guys are just a grenade away from exploding. I think we may have a grenade mod actually that increases damage. I don't know who it's on. I think I gave that to Sid, actually. Or they're more vulnerable when they're using that pin ability. That is also a possibility. Maybe. That's I don't know. We did a bit of damage to them, didn't we? Over here, you're just going to get a lot of wretches. So, of course, this is basically a, mostly an Overwatch zone, I would say. If you're able to get a couple of extra shots off early on as well, then sure, go for it. Yeah, the rest are going to come charging in. Probably. So we've got a few of them. Some of them will sneak through, but as long as you don't cross that line, you'll be alright. You can finish them off. And you can tank a hit again. This isn't like that side mission. They're not doing plus 100% damage. But yeah, grenade will do the job. Alright, now we start crawling up to a bit that is very troublesome. This bit I had a lot of trouble with, and you'll see Why? Because there are more snipers, but there's also plenty of enemies that keep moving themselves around. So my first piece of advice here would be, make sure you use
Watch out! Got a sniper up high.
High cover. Alright? Full cover. Full cover all the way. You may not see the snipers immediately, so you can get in some nice shots here. They love this right-hand side. They love that, so always make sure you've got at least one person overwatching there. To be honest, I recommend 2. And then you need at least one overwatch that midsection there. If you're able to then get one over on that left side there, you can get an extra shot down too. I don't know how many snipers there are. I think it's 3, actually. I think there were 3 snipers.
Let's mess them up.
So, over here we've got Coltrane is pinned, which... sorry, no, not Cole. Sid. So we're going to use Disabling Shot, which... Did I see a 13%? No, I moved him, so it still would have been very, very low percentage. So it's a bit of a miracle shot, that. Real miracle shot. And yeah, they just, like I said, they just love charging down there. So if you're able to get some overwatches, that's great. Here comes another sniper, some wretches. And here we go, there's the sniper. Half cover. Don't use half cover, that's why. So attempt number 2 at this. We're in a very similar situation, just overwatching them through these 2 sections here. They generally don't go down that left-hand side. They really don't like to. But they'll do anything to get down this right-hand side, so just keep doing that. Just keep doing that. Come in here, get a lovely little execution whilst also moving Cole up. And I think this was another mistake I was making. I was maybe advancing a little bit too much with everyone. So again, I move Sid only over here into half cover. I think he's out of range of that sniper up top on the directly north of him, but we still have the one on the left somewhere. There you can see that 675, that's another sniper there. So I was thinking, oh, he must be out of range, but the snipers can shoot even if you can't see them. As long as they have line of sight, they'll get you. They'll always get you if they can. That guy gets a good shot to the face. The regular drones, they're just really stupid. They just charge straight in. And we've got wretches to deal with. That looks like a sniper that's coming there on the left. Yes, it is. Very close range. Very close range. Sid's in a bit of a troublesome spot because I don't think he can get away with throwing a grenade, but well, he must have. Decided to cut that bit out. So we deal with them. And the guys that have come forward here, and we've got 2 snipers there. You can see 2 snipers, and you have a look over there. I think, okay, where can I move? Good old Sid. Swing him down here. I think, what should I do? Take a shot or overwatch? So I'll take a shot, get rid of this wretch here. And then I think... for some reason I thought that sniper was going to move, so I overwatch him there. That is a really, really big error on my part. Don't do that, alright? I cannot stress that enough. And then on top of that... Well, actually, I think what I do over here... I like this move, actually. I was debating whether or not to use the bayonet charge, because again, it's a free action. So we've got 1 action left, we can bayonet charge one of them. If anything, I should bayonet charge the one on the other side. To save Sid, but yeah. Very stupid move. So I've got so close to doing it, so close to finishing them off. But yeah, look what's... You can see what's going to happen. And there goes Sid. Yes, he did get crushed. He is gone. Never mind. So we now move on to attempt number 4. Yes, I skipped 3 because it was the same sort of nonsense that I was doing. And this time, alright, this time I swear, we'll get it right, we'll get it right. Gotta get it right. So we finally we can see all 3 of those snipers. As you can see. So none of them have taken the high ground, which is interesting. So we'll start clearing out the others around here. Like I said, I feel like my mistake was moving forward a bit too much, so instead I basically just move him back, all the way back. Like so. Play it nice and safe. And then they do something rather lovely for me. They all bunch up. So obviously I take the chance to grenade them. That said, I kind of spread them all out, but it's fine. We're now down to one low health sniper, who shouldn't be too much of a problem. We've now got some more coming in at the back there, the next wave. But this guy's just going to go straight back and hunker down, which is no problem at all. Over here though, I decide no need to rush. We can just overwatch the one dude that wants to advance down.
Nice try, asshole.
This guy decides to make a move back. He hunkers. I feel like he probably could have got a shot off.
Oh, it's go time, son.
So if you were to take a scout out on this mission, one of the advantages of a scout is you can use the cloak to get through overwatches. That is a possibility. Here you go, another good use of a grenade, while you take regular grenades, not stim grenades with gain. I took a scout out the first time I did this, actually. And scouts get very good later on when you make them absolute grenade beasts. They really are something special in that regards. Especially when you get proximity mines, they're very good actually on a mission like this. They can be quite good. Because, well, it depends. You won't be doing a lot of damage to the Brumac itself, but they can deal with a lot of other stuff around it. But it does depend on your positioning, and I found the Scout wasn't the best choice of soldier. I like heavies, but I just find them so situation specific. I do find the lack of mobility due to the fact that you hinder their accuracy if you are forced to move them. That said, if the way we're playing here, we could just move one into a decent spot and, I don't know, let it rip really. So over here, I've decided to move Michaela up to the left. That's an interesting move. Well, it was to get the loot, but I kept her up there just in case she had any line of sight on anything. Turns out that she would go on to have something. While Gabe is cleaning up these wretches here, I do realise that we can take a little chain shot on this fella. Nice 100% critical here. Look at this. It's a coming of age. Lovely. I think that was a double crit. So we just about get rid of that guy in time. It looked like there might have been a bit of friendly fire there. Potentially. We've now cleared out most of what there is, just that one guy there, but there's plenty more at the back, and you have to do the whole thing again if you get it wrong. This sniper comes in and scares me a little bit since we don't have Michaela up there, but we're able to just clean him up with Sid. No problem at all. Can't quite move him back down though, which is a bit awkward. So I'm busy thinking, right, where can we move you? Do we move you down there? Maybe we maintain the high ground? I'll decide to grenade this guy, get rid of him, freeze us up. Michaela doesn't need to be too far forward to be effective here, she can just sort of overwatch wherever. We just overwatch that one guy. There's no need to really do anything. We don't need to. We get plenty of shots on him, and that downs that sniper, so he's not going to get a surprise kill on Sid again. Hell no. Now we reveal all the final ones. Look at this. 3 grenadiers, a couple of wretches as well as that one guy down there, who, to my knowledge, stays down there. That's the impression I was under. Unfortunately, Sid is in a bit of an odd position where he doesn't have his snub pistol available. At least no ammo anyway, so use the action to grab this loot since it's on the way to cover. And then we just, I think we take him back one. Yeah, just take him back here. No need to be too far forward, because those grenadiers, they can be real nasty. Don't really have many options here for his overwatches, however, but we do go for the right-hand side there. Probably should have gone directly over to the other side here, because this wretch is going to take this route up there. Get some good overwatches on the berserkers. And this guy comes round and decides to run a few overwatches, much to his demise. That guy's going to stay down there for now. This guy gets in close and decides to have a swing at Gabe, but luckily he barely hits him. Barely. So that was very, very lucky. So over here, we take the shot with Michaela, just to reduce his health, so he goes berserk. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just chainsaw him with Just one action, thankfully, so it is essentially free. So that's one of them down. Still have plenty more to do. Use disabling shot down here to free up the others. Well, to free up Coltrane anyway. Don't have a direct line, but we are able to use one action just to sort of move them up here. Then we go in for the bayonet charge. Obviously, make sure you target the one with more health, unless, of course, the situation calls otherwise. Say there's one that you know you're not going to be able to deal with that's very close to you. Maybe you want to go for that one instead. But yeah, go for the one with more health. We finish off this guy here. Down here, this gives us an opportunity to gather some more actions. So we are in fact going to go ahead and do that. Never get bored of watching the chainsaw. I never do.
Okay. Clear these last ones.
Alright, so over here we just basically need to get some snipes, some shots, any shots we can. This looks like we're going to be just trying to look for a space where we are not obstructed. The car, it turns out, is obstructing us because we're kind of trying to shoot through the car. So shuffling over here greatly increases our chances of hitting. At least I think that's how it worked. She gets a good shot there, which is all we need because Mr. Coltrane just absolutely lays waste to him. So 85%. We've got plenty of actions here, just decide to snub him off. We can get ourselves some more actions. Really, really rack these babies up. So over here I'm thinking, how do I deal with the wretch? Do we just overwatch him? Probably. But we finished off this guy. I always assume, like I say, that guy down there, he just stays there. I mean, I've only played this mission once before, but that's what he did. He refused to come up, so I had to run down there, and I think I used Intimidate, and then I chainsawed him, or something like that. So I take a little bit of a wild shot here, but it works out. And then I think we just go for the snub finish. The snub overwatch, perfect.
On the lookout. Grubs are on the move.
So this guy comes charging up. And at that moment I'm thinking, oh crap, he's going to get like an open shot on someone. Luckily he doesn't, he just goes for the overwatch. Very fortunate. We send Michaela in and she gets a massive crit. Like I say, this is her coming of age.
On standby.
Pulling through for us. We get the finish on him. And there you go, that is it. Come in here, execute this guy, and we then move on to the big scary Brumac, which you shouldn't be too scared of. There's no need to be. Alright, so here we go, Brumac time. And this is always what I do, you send one over here because it's just about far enough away. Bearing in mind if he stomps you, it's an instant kill. You really want to get rid of the chain guns first. Even if they're not the best shots, you really want to focus on them because they can push you out of cover, they can make you do some unfortunate things. Luckily, I like this, you can grab loot and duck into cover. I swear that never used to be a thing. We're going to take the best shots possible on the miniguns here. Not miniguns, they ain't mini. What am I on about? Just a little bit unsure where to put Sid. I want to move him there, up where it was the other spot there by the sandbags, because there's an E-hole that appears near there. In fact, there are 3. You get 1 E-hole every time you... Well, you get 1 at the start. Every time you take 1 bar off the Brumac, you see the bar at the top, you'll get another 1. And they're always in the same spots. So you'll be planting grenades in order to deal with that. So the rockets come pouring down and he comes stomping over, getting very close to Coltrane. They don't deal with little sandbags and cover like that very well. They kind of take a long route round, so always try and stay near them. See, it knocks Coltrane out there. But for some reason he just has to go for Michaela instead. Then we get our rockets back. And here we're going to get the emergence hole appear as well. And it's just a little bit out of range to do it in one action. But luckily, thanks to the moving power, that's not a problem. So we plant the grenade, and go with an empower. Again, this ability is so useful. I once heard somebody not recommend this ability, and I just couldn't believe what I was reading. It's, yeah, maybe on a lower difficulty it's unnecessary. While Cole's up close, we get a little shot off here. Don't know what I'm doing here. Am I thinking where to move him? Okay, we take a second shot. Do it. It's probably working out if we can still get away. Got a nice crit there, I think. Michaela takes a few shots. And I'm busy thinking that Michaela's far enough away, but it looks like the Brumac's far enough away. I'd say so. Look at that, 34 health. We finish it off. So one of them's down. Get a few shots there on the back.
Got the Brumac turning.
And basically another crit there, look at that.
Got the Brumac turning.
Massive. That was good.
Damn it.
So this guy comes charging in, does a little weird sidestep. Gets the hit there on Coltrane. Again, the good thing with Vanguards is they do heal themselves after every enemy turn. So over here we get our first drop. The drone and two wretches positioning themselves rather awkwardly. The reason I say that's particularly awkward is, well, there's a rocket about to come down. And they're so close that if we use a grenade, we're going to hurt ourselves in the process, but we could just take regular shots. But I think we can just about get away with it, yeah, just like that. But, very nice. And Sid is the perfect candidate to deal with the random drones that get dropped in, thanks to the bayonet charge here. And that puts him in a good position as well to get some shots on the Brumac as well. Meanwhile, I let Michaela unload here, which, again, that thing's getting a little bit close, but I thought it was just far enough away, so I decided to take the shots anyway. 91%, pretty good shot, another critical hit. Making good progress, I think I've got a reload in there. Brumac comes in, and unfortunately, he is too close.
Spread out! Don't give him an easy stopping target!
Oh, I'm afraid you could have told me that before. And she just, yeah, she's gone. So, let's get back up to where we were before. We deal with the first chain gun there. We've got the E-hole ready to get rid of, and I've already moved Michaela around. So, E-hole goes. Launches his rockets. We get the drop again. And I think this time I decided to do something a bit weird, because that he was so close, that wretch at the top there was so close. I think I ended up hurting Sid in the process, but it really was the only option. And then Sid meanwhile can just about deal with the drone here. Problem is he's also so close to the missiles spot. In fact, he's really close. Oh, but it's because it's a free ability, we're able to move him away. You see, another reason why you go down that ability route. I'm just going to keep preaching it. That's all you need. So, meanwhile, we make whatever work we can on the other chain gun. Here he comes stomping round. You can see the guys just on the left there. Gets another shot on Coltrane. I mean, you could probably deal with them if you just deal with the one chain gun. But if we can't get any shots on it, I'm happy to shoot the barrels in the back, that's no problem. So, the other guys, I've moved them round because there were no good shots. It's kind of backed up against the wall. We've got another drop here. We still need to deal with this chain gun. But now these guys are far enough back, we can actually get some shots off of them. But we are going to have to pop some reloads now and again. The same goes for Gabe as well. So both Gabe and Coltrane are going to be doing that. I don't have the bayonet charge, so I decided to be a little bit risky. I just sprint Sid over and we just take a high percentage shot. And also, if he stays alive, that gives us a good chance to get an execution for some precious extra actions. So we're going to need some ammo for those extra actions. So here they come. Sid does his job, we get rid of the chain gun, and that's it. Only the rockets to worry about, and emergence holes. Random drops. Other than that, it's all good. So we've now got him in the middle. We've kind of spread Michaela out over to the side there. Moved her out there. Another drop comes in.
Nice try, asshole.
These damn wretches eating up my grenades. But anyway, we deal with that drop. Same way as we dealt with all the others. We've got Michaela back here. Just move her a little bit closer. Just to get a nice, good, clean shot there on the back. And here we, yeah, we've got it surrounded. We're looking pretty good. Sid can take this nice shot here. Almost there. Almost a third the way through its health. There it is.
First tank destroyed. Keep hammering him.
So here comes our second emergence hole. It always appears there. Luckily we've got Michaela pretty close. So she goes ahead and she has to use 2 actions though still. So luckily Empower has cooled down and we can move her out of there, which obviously is absolutely necessary. By this point the Brumac is all the way over the other side now. So he's busy causing me grief. As for Gabe, I decide, how far can I get him away? And I'm a little bit unsure, so I'll just use both actions to get him away, and we can use Sid to take shots on the Brumac. And remember, you can hug the walls at the sides. If they've got no, once they've got no chain guns, just go for it. Just hug the walls on the back of the level. That's all you have to do, because they can't shoot you anymore. Instead, you can go ahead and just take shots like this. So we're already halfway through that second bar. It's really not taken long. Over halfway. So it doesn't take long before we finally finish that one off. And we're now on the final sprint. As it were. We've almost done it. Taken down the Brumac. We've got the final one down here. By this point, Sid's plant grenade ability has cooled down. And he can do it in 1 action, finally. Works out for us. So go ahead. Get on there. He can deal with that, while the rest deal with the Brumac. And it doesn't really matter where he goes, as long as he's outside of any red circles, it's fine. Okay, over here. We don't have the best angles, but good enough. Michaela though, look at that crit. Did you see that crit? That was huge. Massive crit there. That was good. So there goes that emergence hole, and Michaela makes very quick work of the Brumac, and that's it. That's all there is to it. The Brumac is relatively simple. Sure, I had one reload there, but in total we're up to 7 reloads now. I think no, 8, aren't we? 4, 10, 1, 2, no, 4, yeah, that was 4. 4 reloads, 3 in the first section of that, and then 1 at the end there. So there you go, that is Act 1 for you. Well, there you have it. That is all of Act 1 for you. I hope you enjoyed that and you got something useful from it, and that my gameplay wasn't too awful. Be sure to stick around for the first half of Act 2. I think I do chapters 1 through 5, I think, because there's a couple of extra side missions towards the end. And yeah, it definitely doesn't really get much easier, to be honest. Not a lot easier, because we then have to deal with boomers, so hopefully you can join me next time for that. Thanks for watching, see ya.